Well, greetings again, everyone, to a brand new update on the channel to tell you about what's been going on, some physical media stuff, and a whole bunch of other things that are hopefully of interest to you, and hope you're doing very, very well there. If you're not, hopefully something in this video will kind of brighten your day or something like that, or just give you some reprieve from whatever's happening to you. But, like I said, there's a lot of things going on, and I was kind of hemming and hawing about finding a way to change up the format of these videos, stuff like that, but it just feels like I gotta keep going natural. If I try to shuffle around, I'm just gonna stumble my way around the whole thing. So basically we start out with just saying what's been going on the channel lately. I put a wonderful video on Transformers the movie, so that kind of got in my head a couple weeks ago, and I just kind of started rolling the whole thing, and it was like, I had to expel every single fact of information I had about the entire thing. Every little thing. I had to get everything in there. The comic book stuff, the soundtrack stuff was just like the main thing I really wanted to talk about so much, and so many other things. It was like it was something that was always in the realm of somehow maybe getting done at some point in time, but I just kind of launched right into it, and I thought it turned out extremely well. It was performing pretty decently, pretty nicely. What kind of fell and stumbled and is not going anywhere on the channel is the fact that after 3 weeks of copyright purgatory, the Mission Impossible Rogue Nation video finally got released and bombed. It's just like there's no traction for it. I don't know what it is. I spent 2 weeks in the dispute process, and then Paramount nixed that. Then I had to go through the 7-day dispute process, that it cleared, and I dropped it, and it just stayed dropped. It just didn't go anywhere. I put out a short, a YouTube short, like a clip from the video, just kind of edit down and reformat and stuff like that. That's gotten more views than the actual video is attached to. So I've tried a lot of things to kind of rejigger it in terms of new thumbnails, changing up keywords and hashtags, stuff like that. It's just nothing's doing. I did everything to kind of resuscitate the goddamn thing. For a reason, it's just not working. There's no life to it. It's just dead in the water. It's not going anywhere. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I pumped time into it, and I kind of wrangled around for 3 weeks with this copyright system crap, and it just died a death. I wish I could kind of go back and rethink the whole thing, because when I originally upload the entire thing, and usually I'll finish the video, I'll upload it, put it on a Patreon, then like the next day I'll probably go through and kind of do another check the whole thing, see if I want to do anything else with the whole thing. Maybe little tight tweaks here and there or whatnot. But since the copyright thing hit, and I was kind of trying to work with the whole thing, the whole mess of the whole damn situation, the whole thing where it just grabbed like 24 different little clips of everything like that, it was impossible to re-edit the whole thing. So it was like, I just got to go through the process of trying to get this thing cleared. So just got to write it off. There's nothing else I can do with it. That's the end of that. It's the end of. And that's the way that thing's going to perform. There's no reason to do any other Mission Impossible videos on the channel. It's just not going anywhere. The analytics don't want to go for it. The algorithm doesn't grab it up. And just no one wants to click on it. So then there's no reason to cover them. Unfortunate, because I want to talk more about other films in the franchise, but if that's the way it's going to perform, there's no reason to pump all that effort and time and energy into the whole thing if it's not going to go anywhere and no one's going to watch it. So, despite got some decent comics on the whole thing, if it's not going to get the views, it's not going to pump things forward for the channel, it's going to be a rock at the bottom of the ocean, it ain't going to go nowhere. So, move on to other things. And there's some things in the media pickups to talk about what I'm working on right now. And so the next video has been shot. It's just going to go through the post-production process a little bit gradually throughout the entire week. And I felt like I was shooting this on Monday night, maybe releasing on YouTube just a little bit later than usual. But I just want to get this kind of done when I kind of felt like doing it. And so there's that. We put out commentaries we got the stuff out for Jackie Brown. We put out the new one for American Psycho this week. And so guys, hope you'll check those out if you haven't already. American Psycho 1 worked out very, very well. I go processing it in Final Cut Pro, and I saw there was I don't know if there was a brand new feature or something like that, but it's something that had an extra noise reduction feature on the thing, and it seems to be working pretty well. I kind of checked a good chunk of the entire audio last night, and it came out very nicely. So a lot of the fuzz that can come and go in the whole thing has been further minimalized in that regard. So it seems to be working okay, and so hope you guys will check all that stuff out. And I put out I did go see an early screening of the movie The Amateur, the Rami Malek espionage revenge thriller thing. So I decided to throw together a video on it. It hasn't performed terribly well or anything like that. I don't heavily expect like reviews of new movies to really kind of surge up and stuff like that. Sometimes if it's like a franchise stuff like the Alien Romulus one or something, other things here and there, sometimes they'll grab the analytics and people click through and it'll get a good amount of views or whatnot. This one I felt like, well, I saw the thing. I shared some thoughts on social media. I felt like I could probably throw together a review video just for the hell of it. So, and though I did the one for Black Bag, which was really nice and short, where I didn't do any on camera, I just did voiceover stuff. This one I decided to produce as a regular video. Whatnot. It was released a day before the Rogue Nation one, so it does have some extra views on the whole thing, but that thing that took me like half a day to do and whatnot. The Rogue Nation one took a lot more time to do in that regard. It's a much longer video, much more involved, much more research. So one thing not paying off was a much more detrimental thing to the amount of effort I put into it. Whereas the other thing, which is like, okay, if it didn't perform, it's a brand new movie. I put it out as a real early review before the film opened, actually, because it was just, again, an early access screening before the film did its proper opening the following weekend. So I felt like, well, if it performs, if I can get it out early and it grabs attention, that's a good thing. But if I put it out the following weekend, it probably would have performed just about the same or whatnot. So no big thing, but it performed decently at the box office. It looks like it grossed over worldwide over the weekend, grossed over $32 million. So decently enough, but I think it costs about $50 million. So here or there about how much it'll sustain and whatnot and keep that going and whatnot. But decent performance in that regard. But anything like that. So that's everything I feel like we've done on the channel recently. And so we got some other things in terms of the video I'm going to talk about later on was a retro video series video. But the entire thing of talking about their next slate of commentaries, because we already recorded the one for Alien 3, which will be released on 4/26, which is marked as Alien Day for LV-426 from the first two films. So that'll be released on Saturday the 26th of this month. So we'll be able to get that. We did record towards the special edition cut on the Blu-ray, so just so you know that in advance. But coming up the next couple of months, like most of the summer, we've mapped out everything until August right now. So next month, I think we've already mentioned it, but at least I mentioned the fact we're doing the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street, which is going to be a big deal for us because for all this time, we've cursed it off saying we would never do it. And then we finally kind of like, 15th anniversary, let's just do it. Anything like that. But also, Steve lent me his copy of The Shining for me to watch and assess so we can record a 45th anniversary commentary for that. So that'll be coming up on the back end of that. So we'll be recording commentary for the remake of Elm Street and then this film from Kubrick. So it'll be a very interesting dichotomy of things in that regard. And then June, we kind of have pretty much a double feature in that regard in terms of both. One, Steve's birthday is next in June. So we're actually doing something special for his birthday, which is both the original Piranha and the remake of Piranha. If I've got these in the right order or whatnot, I don't know. I think this is the Joe Dante one. I think this is the Alexander Aja one. I think that's the case. Any which way, we're doing the two of them back to back in June. So I have to sit down and watch both of them because these are his copies of their thing. So most of the stuff is all his copies. So I've got two Piranhas to get through in that regard and watch those and get into that. And then in July, we're taking a little, because we got some double stack stuff going on in the summer, but we felt like we needed a little like one-off breather in between all this type of stuff. So we're looking through, and I guess this is coming up on a 20th anniversary then. We're going to do the remake of House of Wax. So he had the copy of it, and I felt like, yeah, interesting enough, Jared Padalecki, I'm getting back in my supernatural fandom headspace and everything like that. So, and there's some other things I could get on terms of cast members being on Supernatural after this entire film. So, figured, hey, it's one of these Dark Castle films. We haven't covered any of that type of stuff. I did a video on the House of Haunted Hill remake several years ago, but as a commentary, we haven't touched any of the Dark Castle stuff. So I figure this is nice to kind of jump into it, see how we feel, and if we want to expand out to other titles in the entire line, we'll see where it goes. But I felt like that was a kind of a nice thing. I just felt like, yeah, go ahead. We'll do that. I haven't seen it, but I felt like, yeah, let's go for that. And in August, we should be hitting about right on the mark Steve's 200th commentary. I believe it's a 200th we were up to for him. And so, as it would be, he has chosen some Stephen King stuff. Different type of stuff. We haven't done something quite like this. We have, but we haven't. Because we're doing a Stephen King mini-series. And we did the It one last year, which is 2 parts. This time, we're doing the original version of The Stand, which is a 4-part thing. So we're going to see how that works out in terms of, we might be doing recording things and releasing them, maybe like 1 per week. Kind of a regular weekly release schedule on the whole thing. We'll see how it kind of works out in terms of our recording schedule versus when we can release them, stuff like that. So he let me his DVD copy. I know there's a Blu-ray version that's a slightly different edit of the entire thing. I think I read that the DVD version was much more of an uncut version, and the Blu-ray is a bit more of the original broadcast version. So we'll see how things go. If you guys have seen The Stand and you have something to interject about which version we should cover in that regard, because I mean the Blu-ray version goes for kind of dirt cheap right now. It's not that not expensive at all. It's well under like $9 right now usually. So we'll see about the whole thing. So anything like that. So that's Steve's favorite King novel. So we'll talk all about that come August. September is a blank spot for us right now, but I got some ideas maybe, because I was thinking after we had recorded the other day, I was thinking like, well, that new Final Destination movie is coming out next month in May. It'll definitely be out on disc by September. So maybe. We'll see. I'll see if I check it out, see if I think it's worth a damn. Even if it isn't worth a damn, is it worth... does it invite any kind of discussion is the main thing. Whether it's good or bad, is it worth discussing? So we'll see how that goes. I haven't discussed that with Steve, but I figured I'd throw that out here because he's going to watch the video anyway, and we'll find out. September's a good distance away, so a lot of things to kind of think about and throw around in that regard. But that's as far as I'm going to kind of preview things at this point in time. But that is plenty. That's pretty much our summer set in that regard. So it's all Steve's choices in that regard. But I signed off on everything. So I just got to watch all this stuff because starting this Saturday, I'm going to be off work for 9 days. I took some paid time off because like last 2 years I've taken like a paid week off. Where I hadn't done that in a long time beforehand. And so since I have the paid time off to work with, I decided to plan out something just plan to have a week off. And I got some extra days off because we had the Easter holiday and stuff like that. So I've got a stretch of 9 days where I don't have to go to work. And so I can catch up on stuff like this, catch up on stuff on my media pickups from the last couple of months that I haven't really sat down and watched properly, and various other things. And there's going to be I'm planning an outing to Chicago to go to the museum campus sometime next week. So kind of break things up and kind of go out and do something instead of just being cooped up watching stuff in the room or whatnot. Kind of get out and experience something worth a damn. So got a plan for that too. And maybe some things pop up here and there. I got plenty of comic books I really need to kind of catch up on. They've been sitting around for months that I haven't read. So a lot of things I want to do. And there's also audiobooks that I've grabbed that I've been kind of slowly getting through, but because I've been kind of jamming up my schedule and been kind of dealing with a lot of different things and doing a lot of runs to resale shops and stuff like that for various reasons, haven't really had as much time to kind of delve in that. So that 9-day stretch is really going to be helpful to kind of clear the slate. A lot of things I've been backed up with and want to get done, stuff like that. So it's going to be really good. It's going to be really worthwhile in that regard. So I'm going to get into the media pickups here. The first things I want to talk about is that I grabbed a bunch of soundtrack stuff. And I grabbed most of the stuff up at the same place. One of them I grabbed up somewhere else. One I grabbed up at Half Price Books was I think it was Half Price. I grabbed up the Streets of Fire soundtrack. Now, I've not seen the film. Probably should. It's beyond my long list of stuff to catch up on. But I've been kind of hooked a little bit because there's a Stevie Nicks song on the entire thing that's not sung by her. She's on the backing vocals, but it's Sorcerer sung by Marilyn Martin. Now, this was a song that Stevie wrote back in the 70s, and she demoed out. There's a demo version on the deluxe edition of the Wild Heart album, which I have. And the year afterwards, she allowed her to record it for the soundtrack. And then finally in 2000, for Trouble in the Shangri-La album, Stevie finally recorded and released a proper studio version done alongside Sheryl Crow. So, interesting things on that regard. A long lineage. A lot of stuff that Stevie wrote way back in the day that kind of sat around and got demoed out, and things didn't quite go anywhere on the several years of albums and stuff like that she eventually kind of went back to and kind of mined it back again for other releases and stuff like that. But I got really hooked on this version because it's really good. Again, and the CD version, because I've been listening to it on YouTube Music for a couple months now, but hearing it on the CD, you could definitely get more of the quality. You can hear more discreetly. You can hear more of Stevie's kind of backing vocals in certain points in the song. So really good type of stuff. I'm really kind of hooked because I watched Patrick Williams' video on Streets of Fire a couple months ago, and it was a good thing. I was like, it gets me interested to check the film out. So that seems like a lot of people have done that off the back of his video. So having this, also being kind of a Walter Hill fan in my regard, The Driver, The Warriors, 48 Hours, stuff like that, it's definitely on the list for me to check out. But I really once I came across the actual CD for a good, like maybe $4 or $5, said, hell, you can grab this. Absolutely, no problem whatsoever. Film I have seen, I did revisit lately, is the fact that I grabbed up at a resale shop, Disc Replay, Wing Chung's To Live and Die in LA album soundtrack. Now, this is another one that I've been hooked on for a couple months because I mentioned the film. I was talking about like 80s neo-noir stuff in my Drive video back in December. I just kind of threw it in there because I just didn't want to just mention like Manhunter, Thief, whatnot. I want to mention some other stuff that was kind of that genre at the time, and I threw the entire title in there, and I just got hooked on listening mainly to the main title track. And Lord like hell, I love the main title track on this album, in this film. It's freaking tremendous. It's just absolutely fantastic. I can't stop listening to it. I've been listening to it for months. And once I found this, like, absolutely, I had to grab this. I haven't even looked at the booklet yet, but I've been going through the whole thing. So, no lyrics or anything in the booklet, but some little things about notes and liner notes and things and stuff like that. So, I just had to grab this. I did revisit the film recently. I hadn't watched it in over 10 years because I did. Don't go looking this up because I find this written review to be outdated for my current thoughts. But I did do a written review of it on the old Forever Cinematic WordPress blog I had back in the day, and I did. My opinions softened on the film. The fact that I had much more of a harsh reaction to it before, that I didn't have the best reaction to it overall back in the day. It softened. It's a film that I feel like I really should love, but I've never really kind of gotten all the way to that end with the film. So, but revisiting it like about 2 months ago, it's a little closer to the accepting. It's like I kind of appreciate certain things, but certain things I still have a little conflict about some of the choices in the entire film. But I feel like I'm going to go back to it every so often and probably get a little bit closer to the entire thing. So it's one of those things that's a gradual absorption of the film and whatnot. So it's getting there. So if I ever do fully get there, I'll grab up the Kino Lorber 4K, what the heck's out there, whatnot, and kind of see about discussing more detail. But that's nothing that's on the horizon right now. But another thing I was really much kind of looking for something like this is a compilation of like James Bond's music, the themes and whatnot. And most particularly is the fact that I wanted a release that allowed me to have the Katie Lang song Surrender from Tomorrow Never Dies, because a lot of them just kind of like the main themes and that's it. And that's more the entitled song. It wasn't the main theme of the film. And so a lot of them just kind of collect those stuff. But I did come across this one, the 50th anniversary one, 50 years, 50 tracks, which is a 2 CD deal that has everything up to, sadly, the song from Quantum of Solace, which I did not rip off the entire disc. But it does have a second disc full of stuff like Katie Lang's song and a bunch of different orchestral tracks for the scores of the entire films from John Barry, Bill Conti, David Arnold, stuff like that here and there, Eric Serra, here, there, and everywhere. I had bought a couple tracks off of iTunes on this thing, but that compilation specifically is no longer on there, probably because a license probably expired, and I probably issued a new one after a couple of years, after I got a couple more of the, after Skyfall, Inspector, and everything like that kind of got released, and they got to do another compilation where they relicense things off in that regard. But this one's definitely the one to get if you ever grab it. So again, it cuts off at Quantum of Solace, so you'd still have to grab the Adele track, the Sam Smith track, the Billie Eilish track afterwards and whatnot, and here and there and everywhere. But as I already have the CD for the Casino Royale soundtrack, I bought the License to Kill one off of iTunes when I did the video on that thing a couple years ago. So got a nice kind of heft of certain things in that regard. Certainly there's vast things out there with, especially with the new expanded and remastered ones they've had for Tomorrow Never Dies, License to Kill as well, a couple of them here and there. So a lot of those soundtracks are getting a lot more of a life now, getting the expanded versions out, getting a lot of the actual score tracks out there. So I'm very much appreciative of that. But going for more of a budget, this was a really thing I got for about $10 at the resale shop. So that was a very good thing. So I was very much looking to get that. So now I can enjoy all the stuff to a certain degree. But let's talk about what I'm coming up with on the retro video series. I get some other things here about pickups and whatnot, but just to kind of clear the air about that stuff, is that when I was editing the Transformers the movie video, one of the things I was kind of binge watching in the background here was a lot of stuff on the Secret Galaxy YouTube channel, Dan Larson stuff. Wonderful stuff, absolutely fantastic stuff they do in the entire thing. And I came across their video about the 1989 Batman movie, and I was like, that kind of sparked something in me about some quirks about the home video history. Now, you might note a couple of these updates ago, after the Terminator 2 one happened, and I was really burned out for the entire experience, I kind of cursed off the entire idea of doing home video retrospectives, but something that was that complex, and that just so much to cover, very exhaustive type of stuff. Batman's a lot more streamlined and simpler. And I've already shot the video, so there it goes on that. But it was like, I'm not going to go over the quirks here because that defeats what I'm going to talk about in that video. But thankfully, I realized my sister still had the original DVD release, so I borrowed this from her right now. And so I had that. Then I had to go out and repurchase the 2-disc special edition DVD because, not because of the bonus material or anything like that, but obviously I've got the same transfers used on the first Blu-ray, but I had to get for the DTS track. Very particular thing in that regard. I have to replace the sticker off the disc replay place. It was just really bad. I can't get this gunk off of here. I might have to trace on. I've got plenty of like replacement cases and whatnot, but I haven't shot any of the B-roll stuff of like showing off all the home video cases and packaging and stuff like that. So I'll have to probably swap this out for another case before I shoot that. But the more particular thing is the fact that, well, if I'm doing this, I've got to get the 4K edition. And I had some rigmarole about, it was a pain in the ass. I was trying to find this in like a real quick fashion, but I was trying not to pay too much for it. Because I was kind of hemming and hawing about the entire situation, whether I got the box set or just get the one film. And the fact is, as things went along, I realized I really want to kind of cover both Batman and Batman Returns, because there's certain things different about Batman Returns, specifically stuff with a Laserdisc release I want to cover overall, which turned into this whole thing of me running around to all these resale shops trying to dig through every Laserdisc I could find, which I went through, I don't know how many, probably hundreds, right, as I went through the entire weekend. Didn't find a single thing. I found Batman Forever, Batman and Robin. I didn't find the ones I was looking for. So, anything like that. But, yeah, I found, thankfully, on a Sunday evening, I found an actual listing for the 4K box set for $40 used on eBay, where I felt like $10 a film, that's a good deal. So, otherwise, if you're paying $20 for each one or something else along those lines, there's not even a comparison in that regard. So, no slipcovers on this one. This one actually doesn't have the banner saying it was going to have a digital copy, so it's a later purchase, so they might have both ditched the digital copies and the actual slipcovers. Doesn't matter that much to me right now. So, I have watched the 4K edition. As I said, I've already recorded the whole video yesterday, which was a bit of a process. I have a bit of a difficult time because I started shooting it Saturday night, and my words would not spit out of my mouth. It's like, this is tough. Sometimes these are freaking tough to kind of get the exact wording to spit out of my mouth. Where I'm trying to like have everything set, kind of scripted in my head, what I want to say, and kind of keep tripping over the same thing over and over again. So I had to shut down Saturday, had to rehabilitate everything on Sunday. Plenty got it done, but I took a lot of breaks in between, just kind of rest and recuperate and think my way through it, and kind of remember some of the research I did the weekend before. So it's been shot. A lot of things very much discussed in that regard. So it's going to be about a half an hour video. Nice length for the entire thing. So it's about the maximum where I was looking to have this thing run to. So good stuff in that regard. So we'll see how it goes overall. But also I decided this thing went down in price. So I decided to grab the 4K of Batman Mask of the Phantasm. So I figured, what the hell? Because I've seen comparisons up to the 4K, and the 4K definitely is a superior version of the previous Blu-ray from Warner Archive or the Edmund series box set, which is just the same disc. But I had this on my list for a long while, and I really wanted to snag up the 4K edition so much in that regard. So good thing there. And I got an import. Now, you're going to ask why I decided to import this, because there's one available in the US. What's the difference? But I grabbed the 4K of the Prestige from the UK. Now this is the Warner Brothers release, because in the US it's released through Disney. But Warner Brothers was the ones actually doing the remasters for the entire box set several years ago. And particularly, Disney's is a BD66. This is a BD100. And they didn't use the new 4K master for the Blu-ray, but the Blu-ray was actually reauthored. So they re-encoded it and everything like that, and put all the bonus features on a separate disc, so everything's just encoded better. So I'm thinking, not right now, not anytime I can put a date on or whatnot, but I'm thinking about probably covering the film. So I really want to have as best of a quality overall in the whole thing, and be able to, because I can rip the disc no problems, whether or not it's region free or not, but I can still rip it. And probably because I think it was kind of things back and forth. No one really gave me a definitive thing about the whole thing, but since it's on a BD100, I figure probably Warner Bros. Encoding was probably a little bit better than the Disney one. And it definitely, I finally bought it because it did go down in price very much in that regard. So I got for probably not too much more than what the US version was. So good thing in that regard. I think it's just HDR10. I don't think any of the Nolan stuff, at least not those original slew of remasters, had a Dolby Vision on and whatnot. But I really wanted to finally grab this up because I had a little bit of an itch, and I already had this thing on DVD before, so this is a major upgrade to grab this in that regard. And the last thing I grabbed up, not really in kind of order or whatnot, but I grabbed up Companion on 4K. And not a whole bunch on terms of like bonus features. There's only like 3 kind of like 4 to 5 minute featurettes that are decently interesting. I was nice to see on the last featurette in the whole thing, the fact of what they decided to do to avoid using as much CGI as possible. They did a lot of things practically, like the contact lenses when certain people's eyes change in certain ways in the entire film, and the particular arm that's used in the entire film that we see at the end of the entire thing, it's not a digital effect, it's actually a puppet. I was like, man, that's really good filmmaking. It's like, I really appreciate finding that. I was like, that makes the film even better to me. That they took those extra steps to use much more of those different tools. So you find the right tool to do the job for you. That if you don't have to do everything digitally, if you can do stuff in camera, that can add more to the entire film. So they did some touch-ups here and there, erase some stuff in some places and whatnot. But just the fact is, I very much appreciate what they did in the entire film, and it screams to the quality of what the film actually is. Because it's a really goddamn good movie. I very much thoroughly enjoyed the whole thing. And this it's a Warner Bros. Release, so it's just going to have HDR10 on the disc. Probably the digital code version probably has a Dolby Vision great on it, but anything like that. So this has Dolby Atmos, and I think it's probably going to look really fantastic when I watch it next week, hopefully. But it's a really nice slipcover, nice quality in the whole thing. I don't know if you can grab Sophie Thatcher's eyes and the whole thing, but they got a little reflectiveness on the whole thing. So they did a really nice job on the slipcover. So really great type of stuff in that regard. So that's some cool stuff in that regard. And not much else to talk about. Like in terms of Jack Quaid, I did not get around to seeing Novocaine in theaters because I got jammed up with the Rogue Nation stuff, the Transformers thing, so I just couldn't carve out the time to go see it. And now it's on VOD right now, so I'll eventually catch it. Fortunately, I just couldn't get around to it in theaters, and it didn't perform as great as it could have, as people kind of projecting it would, and so it kind of fell out of theaters fairly quickly. It's not completely out just yet, but it's really gotten pretty scarce, especially with a lot of new movies being peppered into the entire new theater chains, into the bunch of new films kind of being peppered out in the entire cinema scene and whatnot right now. So only so much room on that regard, but I'll get around to it at some point in time. But I felt like by the time I got around to the fact is, okay, I can either see the Amateur real early or I can see Novocaine really late. I figure at least to take an opportunity to see something particularly early in that regard. So there's that. So anything like that. So good stuff altogether. So I don't really think there's anything else to really expel in this regard. So it's all good stuff, guys. So I'd like to hear what your thoughts are about everything like that. So that retro video series Batman retrospective is going to be in the works, and I'll be doing like I said, I'll be doing a separate one for Batman Returns. I have ordered the Laserdisc. I've kind of had to vet a few things with the seller first before I bought it, but I verified that it is the version I'm looking for the whole thing. I do have to kind of dig up the companion DVD releases to do the A to B to C comparisons on various other things, but that can wait a little bit. I got 9 days to do whatever the fuck I want, so I got enough time. I could have grabbed up like the special edition today, but I feel like let me just try to lurk around and try to find online or something else like that. Make a plan for the most cost-effective idea to go for, because if I find the special edition, I still got to dig up the original '97 DVD for the 4:3 and 16:9 versions, compare everything back and forth. So anything like that. So as much as I covered it in the '89 Batman film, I'm gonna have to do something a little bit different, and not like 1 to 2 to 3 kind of exact same pattern. I'll have to kind of rejigger things in terms of like not discussing exactly the same way of going through things as I did the first time. So it'll be a little bit of a different focus in certain things, because like I said, there's certain things about the Laserdisc release that I feel like need a little discussion and maybe some clarification in some places. So doing a little research on that, and hopefully the disc will start getting moving forward on the tracking very shortly. So good thing in that regard. So thanks guys for checking things out. There's our Super Things feature, Patreon to get some early access and contribute something to the channel, but also liking videos, commenting, sharing links around, all that type of stuff. Subscribing if you haven't. All helps us out extreme much to keep things healthy, expand things out, and feed the algorithm, and make sure this entire channel remains a very populous type of thing with everyone going on and having us making very good videos in that regard. So thanks so much, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.